Well, Mike Winger, who is a great Bible teacher. I like Mike Winger. Mike Winger says,
I think that chivalry is a biblical principle to put her needs above our own.
now, is chivalry really biblical? I think Mike has been blinded by chivalry. He's been blinded by chivalry. So let's see the full context of what Mike is saying on his video on how to be a husband, the lost art of biblical manliness. And obviously, Mike believes biblical manliness means chivalry. And he has been blinded by chivalry. Blinded by chivalry. Here we go.
It's good to ask, why do you want to marry that person? You know, if you talk to a single person, you're like, so you're interested in them. Why do you want to marry that person? Is it because they're beautiful? Is it because you can talk together well? Is it because they make you feel good? I'll say those are beautiful things, but that will not sustain your marriage. How about it's because you've decided you want to love them and put their needs above yours until you die? Because that's what our call is as guys. We're called to put her needs above our own. If one of us is going to be cold, it should be you. One of us is going to be sore, it should be you. I think that chivalry is a biblical principle to put her needs above our own.
Wow. So we notice then that Mike is saying we need to put the needs of our wife above our own. Now that's not a direct command of Scripture. Now I think he's getting that. He's talking about Ephesians chapter 5, and we love our wives as Christ loved the church. Yes, that's true. But when we phrase it in those types of ways, then it makes it seem as if she becomes Christ and you are sacrificing for her as your Lord, as your superior, as your number one, which is exactly what chivalry teaches. Now, Mike, I would say, has been blinded by chivalry. He's been blinded by chivalry. Chivalry is anti-biblical marriage. And so when he says, yes, we need chivalry, blah, blah, blah. No, we do not need chivalry. Chivalry is antithetical to biblical marriage, to biblical marriage roles. Why? Because it puts the woman above the man, which is antithetical to what Scripture teaches. That is not the hierarchy in Scripture, that the woman is to be the helper to the man, not the other way around. The man is to be on his mission for the Lord, doing what God has called him to do, and the woman is to be a sub to that mission, meaning she is in submission to her husband's mission. The way Mike is phrasing this then is that the husband should be the one who is looking to serve his wife as her helper. Now we'll remember from Genesis chapter 1, the woman was given to the man to be his helper, not the other way around. Not the other way around. Now, again, Mike Winger, he's a good Bible teacher. I really like his teaching. But again, just like almost everybody, he's been blinded by chivalry. You cannot have chivalry, which puts the man as an inferior to the woman, where he comes groveling to her on bended knee, trying to please her in any way that he can. No, that is anti-biblical marriage. Let's go on.
So if you want to be without care, don't say, God, take care of my wife and kids. No, if you're married, it's too late. If you want to be without care, don't get married. Stay single. Well, I don't think I can handle that. All right, well then get married and be real about it. Take care of your family. So that's not a complaint. It's simply an observation, because your wife, your bride, is a ministry that you take on as a husband, and ministering to her is a very important thing. She's God's daughter, and if you've ever been the dad who gave away his daughter, then you can imagine how God feels about giving his daughter to you. He's like, you better take good care of her. I think we need to realize that she's a ministry in and of it herself, and she's a ministry I want to be able to look back and say I'm faithful in, because I know I'm one of those guys who I do ministry all the time, and I wouldn't take time for anything else. but because of Scripture, I make sure to prioritize this relationship.
So the language here again is she is God's daughter. You must take care of her. And I guess you as God's son need to die on the cross for her. Like, I don't know if maybe that's the analogy. You need to die for her, you know. Now that is Ephesians 5 does say that Christ gave himself up for the church, right? That's true. But we can very quickly with that type of language say, yes, so she is the one who you need to live your life for in sacrifice to her. You sacrifice your life for her, which goes along with chivalry, goes along with what we had just said, but that is not biblical marriage to sacrifice your life for your wife. No, you're to sacrifice your life for the Lord. And she is to be on mission with you as you live your life for the Lord together. Okay. This is why, oh, well, she's God's daughter. Okay. Well, there's a lot of Christian women then too, right? All right. So that language, again, very chivalrous type of language. I will sacrifice myself for my lady, blah, blah, blah. Come on. We got to get done with this kind of talk, this kind of chivalry nonsense talk. Like, we got to get back to biblical marriage roles. There's the husband who is the head. There's the wife. She is on mission with her husband. They love each other with agape love, not with just romantic love. Romantic love, that's fine. That's not what keeps the marriage together. In fact, romantic love, as we've been going through the past few videos, romantic love many times is antithetical to biblical marriage, because when the romantic feelings go and the love's gone, well, guess what? It's time to get rid of the marriage. And we see that all over today. Well, with all that being said, though, Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, this is the Postmillennial Man.